They say the most powerful forces in the world are the ones you never see. Not presidents, not armies, not even billionaires, but something quieter, something that moves beneath the surface, shaping economies, steering governments, and deciding the fate of companies with a whisper. This is the story of how one of those forces came to be. It begins in 1986 with a man named Larry Fink. At the time, Fink was a rising star at First Boston, one of Wall Street's elite investment banks. He was brilliant, confident, and had helped pioneer a new kind of financial instrument, mortgage-backed securities. It was the future of finance, and Larry was riding high until he wasn't. One miscalculation, one wrong bet on interest rates, and just like that, Fink lost $90 million of the firm's money. It was a career-shaking blow, but it wasn't just the money, it was the lesson. Risk, he realized, wasn't just a number on a spreadsheet, it was a shadow. And nobody on Wall Street truly understood it, so he left. And with 7 others, Robert Capito, Susan Wagner, Barbara Novick, Ben Golub, Ralph Schlosstein, Hugh Frater, and Keith Anderson, he built something new. In 1988, inside a modest New York office, they founded a company called Blackstone Financial Management. Not to be confused with the private equity giant Blackstone Group, though they were briefly connected. Their mission? To manage assets with a radical focus on risk, to build a system that could see the shadows before they moved. They started small, fixed income investments, bonds, quiet, stable things. But behind the scenes, they were building something far more ambitious. A platform, a brain, a digital nervous system called Aladdin. Aladdin wasn't just software. It was a way to see the world. It tracked every asset, every risk, every ripple across global markets. It was like giving Wall Street X-ray vision, and soon everyone wanted it. By the mid-90s, BlackRock had separated from Blackstone and gone public. It was no longer just a bond shop. It was becoming a financial oracle. Then came the acquisitions, State Street Research, Merrill Lynch Investment Managers, Barclays Global Investors. Each one added new powers, new reach, new influence. And with each move, BlackRock grew. Quietly, systematically. By 2008, when the world was burning in the financial crisis, governments didn't know where to turn. Toxic assets were everywhere. Banks were collapsing. Trust was gone. So they called BlackRock, the US Treasury, the Federal Reserve, even European central banks. They asked BlackRock to help unwind the mess, to analyze the damage, to guide recovery. And BlackRock did. Not with headlines, not with speeches, but with data, with Aladdin. With the quiet precision of a firm that had spent 2 decades preparing for this moment. Today, BlackRock manages over $12 trillion in assets. That's more than the GDP of most countries. Through its iShares ETFs, it owns pieces of nearly every major company on Earth. Apple, Microsoft, ExxonMobil, JP Morgan, Alphabet. It's not just an investor, it's a voting power, a strategic advisor, a global presence. Some call it the invisible state. Others call it the most powerful company you've never heard of. But at its heart, BlackRock is still chasing the same ghost Larry Fink saw in 1986. Risk, the fear of the unknown, the need to understand what others overlook. And maybe that's the paradox. The company built to see everything remains unseen by most. But if you look closely at your pension, your mortgage, your government's decisions, you might just see its fingerprints. Because BlackRock isn't just a company, it's a mirror, reflecting the systems we've built, the power we've given, and the questions we still haven't asked. Who watches the watchers? And what happens when the quietest voice becomes the loudest?